to the Radiant Woman Unstoppable You interview series. So over the previous couple of weeks and the coming weeks, I'm featuring women from all around the world that are out there empowering other women to live more radiant, happier, healthier, more abundant and more purpose-aligned lives. And that's what I'm really all about, helping multi-passionate, busy women to holistically create radiant physical, emotional, spiritual and mental health, transform their mindset and really experience that clarity and that confidence in their purpose. And in my 8th interview of the series, I am joined by a very special guest all the way from California. Welcome, Veronica. Veronica Krestow, how are you?
So good. It's so good to be here with you and these beautiful souls.
Oh, it really is. And I'm so thrilled that you were able to be here at this time and we're able to coordinate the timings right, because I think as initially, I had the timings all wrong. Like Google's been doing me wrong lately when it comes to, I think they're not taking into account daylight savings, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
Veronica is the author of The Diamond Process and co-founder of the Diamond Process Coach Training. And I know you have a monthly membership, you've got a mentoring offering, plus of course you are a YouTube sensation. And I believe your videos go back, I was having a look, 12 years, which is pretty phenomenal. So it's not like you've just started it in the last year or so. We've seen this proliferation. You've been doing it for quite some time. And I think you've got something like 675 videos, over 23,000 subscribers. I'm like, wow. Yeah, pretty phenomenal.
Wow. When you say 12 years, I'm like, wow, it feels like a year, like just, yeah. It's an amazing thing though, when you can build an audience and connect with people just like we're doing right now, connecting with people all over the world, and you keep doing it and it only gets better and better and better.
Yes. And just on that, have you gone back to some of your older videos and kind of thought, you know what, this is great. Like this content is still really relevant for now, like what people are navigating and, moving through.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And I also have the other side of things where I'm like, oh my God. And I keep those videos up there because so many times I work with clients who want to be visible and they want to, bring their purpose out into the world, first get clear on it, then confidently bring it out. And I leave those videos there because people assume like, oh, like Belinda has always been like this. Like she has always been this confident and this wise. And so I like leaving the videos from 12 years ago because it's like, oh, like I would spend 12 hours editing out all the ands, buts, so you can see in the videos, it's like, like the cuts are in there and I'm just, very different at that time.
Yes.
So yeah, it's quite a journey. And then yes, some things are timeless. So going back, I definitely want to take some of those videos and recreate them.
Yes. And it was funny because that's how I came across, like our paths crossed, because it might have been, say, 5 years ago, I came across some of your videos, and it was when I was going through a period of kind of that dark night of the storm. And it was like some of your videos, and they were really, I guess, so heartfelt and exactly what I was going through at the time. And it was things like, there was one video and it was around how to love myself when I don't really like myself. Do you remember that one? Something like that. And there was a few of them like that. And I used to it was funny, I'd be at the gym or whatever on the treadmill, walking away, listening to your videos day in, day out. And it was like you were talking to me and I thought, wow. And as soon as I had the opportunity to work with you, I was like, I need to be in your vortex. I need to work with you. I know you can help me. And it was just such a beautiful 6-month container that we had together. So, but that was because of YouTube. That was because your videos just resonated and spoke to my soul. So I'm so grateful to you for that.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I don't know why it's coming up to share, but those who are watching, who feel that impetus, like, does anyone in your audience like want to share their voice?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Oh my God. So that desire is not a mistake, and not everyone has it. And so people think, oh, like I'm just, all the doubt kicks in, but really that desire is desire of the sire of the king of God. You can look at the etymology of that word. Those deeper desires are not coming from logic. They're coming from a blueprint. They're coming from what we're here to express and create. And so the more of us who go out there and instead of thinking about numbers, I mean, look, I've been doing this 12 years on YouTube, 23,000 subscribers in the grand scheme of things may not be much over that time. you know, or maybe some see that, some do see that as a lot, but it's not about the
No.
numbers. It's about the depth, not the way, you know, it's like, how
True.
deep are we going to go versus our society programs us to think bigger is better, more, more, more. And that's not the case,
No.
right? You affect one person, you inspire one person with your story, and that can change a life into some that affects thousands of lives. Like, we don't know how we're all playing in this game together.
That's the thing. And I think what I love about you, and I sort of touched on it earlier, is, you know, you're very genuine, you're very open-hearted. Like, people can sense that with you. You just exude this kind of warmth and this radiance when we speak about the radiant woman. So it's very apt for you and for this series. But, you know, it's like, and that's what resonated with me. I thought, you know, you're speaking from the heart, you're doing these vulnerable shares. And that kind of really helps people to realize that, you know, yeah, we're all going through things. It doesn't matter who we are, where we're at. You know, we're all trying to navigate the best we can with where we're at, the knowledge we have at the time, you know, the support or lack of support that we have at the time. So yeah, it can really, as you said, one life can be, their whole life trajectory can change because of that one message.
And you know what else? Like, when we put ourselves out there, we think we're doing it to build the business and to, you know, grow the audience or whatever the metrics are. And that, yes, that part's great, but really it's who we become in the process of doing the thing that we're afraid to do that is the biggest payoff.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God, you know, I'm capable of being myself and loving myself through pushback or someone leaving a negative comment, you know, oh, that used to take me down. Oh, that doesn't anymore. So we become greater versions of ourselves. We evolve in the process of any big thing, whether it's having kids, having a business, you know, moving to some other country, whatever the thing is that's pushing our edges. And it's amazing when we can meet ourselves and the bit larger version of ourselves in that way.
Oh, 100%. And you're right. And I mean, when I sort of started this a couple of weeks ago, this whole YouTube channel and, you know, the videos, I didn't really know where it was going to go. But part of it was that it was for my own growth to really push the comfort zone, to get out there, to be more visible. Because as we know, there is those fears that come up, you know, oh, as you said, like, you know, someone going to leave a negative comment? Is there going to be a, you know, judgment? Is there going to be criticism? Is there going to be ridicule? Whatever. So part of this, being out here, being visible, it is that it's just facing some of my own fears, like, and just looking them in the eye and saying, you know what, you don't have the power anymore, like, get in the back seat. I think that was was that Elizabeth Gilbert or someone that had that's right.
You don't even get access to the radio, like, you don't even have control over that, like what song we choose.
Exactly. I love that, don't you? I know, it just kind of seems so true, because it does. Fear just keeps so many of us immobilized for years on end and breeds that kind of stuckness.
And you're mentioning Elizabeth Gilbert. I don't know why this quote is coming in, but so many people go into depression and things because she says this quote: if I'm not actively creating something, I'm actively destroying something.
Wow.
So in the focus of creating videos, content, whatever the case may be, services for clients, maybe it's art or vegan cakes or whatever the business is, we're creating something beautiful. But in the void of doubt and I don't know who I am and no one's going to care and all the noise, other people are already doing it, they do it better, blah, blah, blah. And we're literally destroying ourselves with all of this negative commentary. So I love how she pointed that out. She creates in order to have a constructive life. Otherwise, she destroys herself and relationships and other things, which I think is, it's really powerful.
Oh, it is so powerful. So talking about, I guess, I mean, Elizabeth Gilbert's amazing, and you know, people that are out there, and as we said, like, looking at fear in the eyes and doing it in spite of or despite. So tell me, what do you feel is your soul-led mission? And we know it's always growing and evolving and expanding as we do, but what do you feel that currently is, like, what's currently on your heart?
It's well, personally, it's to awaken into the deepest level of presence available to me. So I put myself, I continuously move in the direction of what is more courageous, because as I am more and more of who I am, it's easier for me to stay present in challenging circumstances. It's like training ground. But my mission out in the world, not just inside of myself, is the same. It just keeps kind of morphing and evolving and growing. But I'm extraordinarily passionate about helping not just women, but anyone who is called, usually empaths, highly sensitive people, heart-centered, powerful souls who don't know it yet or secretly do, but they have this gift inside they want to bring to the world. And I help. I see us as having boxes of gold or treasure chests of gold inside.
Yes.
And it's like, I am very passionate about helping as many people as possible to dig deep and deliver the cargo that they were born to deliver.
Yes.
And I think that's what evolves our world.
Yes.
Because when you really touch into highly sensitive people or empathic people or just big-hearted, kind, caring people who want to help people,
yes,
there is so much value inside. There are so many solutions. There's so much love and compassion and grace and a new narrative around what it means to be human at this time. And so just cleaning the self-doubt, helping people clean up the mindset and clean up the self-doubt and go out there and bring their gift into the world with confidence. That's why I'm here. You know, that's my joy. And helping people to come into radical self-acceptance in the process of bringing their gift into the world.
Yes, and that is so important too. And it is easy to get caught up sometimes in the comparisonitis and look what others are doing and where am I at my journey? And, you know, and it's realizing that, as you said, we all have our own unique gifts, our own blueprint, our own desires, our own, you know, mission, so to speak. And it is morphing, it is changing as we do. But, you know, it's really important that, we're all able to tap into our own unique gifts, our own unique voice. You know, it's really important. And I know, that's, as you said, that's kind of in line with what you're saying. But how did you come across all of this? Like, why is this all important to you?
I love that. It just, I went through my own dark night of the soul. 2009, I moved to the Redwood Forest from Los Angeles. I was in an amazing relationship, was in fantastic health, had the yoga body, the perfect life on the outside. I was even starting my career at that time. So I had this burgeoning career. But I was miserable inside, like in my head, the way I talked to myself, the way I was towards myself, the anxiety, the fear, the anger, like it just was there. It was constantly bubbling up to the surface, but I kept beautifying things on the surface of things. And so it looked like life was great, but inside there was something off. So when I went to the Redwoods and I met myself and let myself be all that I am, let the rage come up, let all of the anger, all of the judgments on myself, on others, all my fears, all the inner child work, just sitting in nature with those beautiful trees changed me. It really led me home to myself. And that's when I realized, when I was able to birth who I am in that process, that was really when I was called to share it with others. I was sharing a little bit before then, but when something transforms your life, or I can speak for myself, when something works, when something transforms my life, I'm just called to share it. It hurts. I don't know what that biblical quote is, but it's like that which we have inside, and do not share destroys us. That which we have inside and do share sets us free. I'm totally butchering this gorgeous, like ancient quote, but it is ultimately saying when we don't share that thing inside of us that we are called to bring forward, it actively destroys us. But when we do bring it out into the world, it frees us. So the calling is, my God, we have one life and we don't have to do it the way society's training us to do it. And who am I not to share what has worked for me?
Yeah, exactly. That's a key thing, as you said. And you really want to, don't you? It's like when you know something's worked for you, you've just got this passion to want to, be able to help others and say, look, hey, this has helped me and maybe it can help you too. And obviously that's probably part of the diamond process. And I imagine the diamond process coaching, that you bring all of that into it to help the coaches with themselves and their healing and their growth and evolution. And of course, being able to then hold that space and facilitate that for others.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm in the Redwoods. It's 2009, right? This is 13 years ago. And I realized, oh my God, every day I was doing the same exact thing and over again, the same 7 steps. And I'm like, I'm working through the same process, things I had learned, but also intuitive things like in the same order. And I was
Mm.
like, what is this? And then when I got out of the redwoods, I was like, will this work for other people? Like,
Yeah.
so I tried it with clients and it actually worked. And then over time, people started saying, I've never been coached like this. I want to become a coach and I want to coach like this. I want to coach like you
Mm.
coach. Will you create a coach training program? And I was like, I'm not a trainer, like I'm a coach.
Mm.
So I kept saying no. And then finally, this woman, Christine, like 3 or 4 years later, after several people asking the same question, I was in a session with her. She asked, and I have no idea why. I was like, yes, I will create a training for you. And so I started with her and one other person.
Mm.
And now we've been doing this training for 7 years. And it's just, you know, training coaches is in freaking incredible because not
Yes.
only are they transforming their life in the process, now they're out there coaching others, not from here, but from their own lived experience, from their own self-coaching.
Mm.
And it's a really beautiful thing because we're all doing this work together. I love like joining forces with you, like in this, and those who are watching, like we are one
Yes.
community, right?
Yes.
And we have each other to
Exactly.
bring the work out into the world. We don't need to do it alone,
True.
right?
Mm.
It's within us, and it's our responsibility to get the support we need in order to break through the doubt and break
Yeah.
through whatever, in order to have the confidence to go out there and bring the gift to the world and enjoy the process.
Oh, exactly. And I think one of the key words you just said there was that support. And that's how I truly felt when I was in the container with you. It was very much, I felt so supported, so seen, so held. And so many people don't feel that they have that support,
Yeah.
so it is beautiful to have that
Yeah.
and know that it really does. It shifts you, even that, just having someone hold that space, present, seeing you for all you are, all parts of
Yes.
you, it
Yes.
shifts you in so many ways. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I honestly don't know how people do like
Yeah.
move through life without it. And I used to be that person. I thought it was noble to do it all
Mm.
myself. And it led me to a lot of depression and a lot of pain. And yeah, it's essential to have at least one person in our corner who can see us without judgment, with loving eyes, and with just able to see the power that lives within us.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which
So
is what you do, which is what you
well, that's
do.
the thing. And really, I mean, it is both of us, it is that holistic health and wellness, because as we
Yeah.
know, I mean, there's so many people that are doing all the right things, they're eating cleanly, exercising, but then internally they've got fears, they've got anger, they've got this toxic, self-talk and things like that. So that's never going to help and be conducive to good health and vitality and radiance and all those things. So it is key, like having that support network to really give you that holistic wellness, mind, body, and soul, as they say. It's so important. But it was interesting just when you were talking, because I know that you do a lot with Jason too, don't you? Your life
Yeah.
partner. And it was
Yeah.
such inspiration for me, because when I was visualizing, because, I'd been single for over 12 years, and, and the guys that were coming into my life, they weren't the right sort of guys. They were just, it was repeating a lot of patterns. So, and it was funny when I was doing a lot of that deep work clearing, all of that, or the patterning, or the stuff that had just been sitting there, or the wounding. It was interesting. I was part of, you and Jason, it was kind of like when I was visualizing, I was thinking, and I have this beautiful life partner on purpose, and he inspires me, encourages me. And, and I used to think like that when I was walking, it would just be in that energy. Wouldn't it be nice, and like thinking about us walking on the beach with our dogs. And I kid you not, it didn't happen overnight, but being consistent to that feeling and that visualization, it manifested. It was just amazing. So we do that. We walk on the beach with the dogs, and it's like, wow. And like Richard will run a bath for me, like things I used to visualize. But as I said, you and Jason were inspiration, that life partner on purpose. It was just beautiful. So
This is so beautiful. And I have to say, all the work you have done within yourself, right? The friendship, the beloved within you, the connection within you is what set the foundation to make that naturally align for you.
True.
It's like, oh God, how beautiful. Like you visioned it, and you weren't just like waiting for him to drop out of the sky. Like you genuinely showed up for yourself in the way that you wanted someone to show up for you, and became a magnetic and energetic match.
Exactly.
So good. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's so beautiful.
Oh, it
To
was. It
hear of
was.
you.
Yeah, no, well, thank you for, modeling. And that's when I say that, like modeling real life in the sense that, like, you do have a beautiful partner and the two of you, yeah, you're out there empowering people. But as we know, there's times where, and I know you do vulnerable shares, where, sadness is coming up and real life
Oh, yeah.
experiences. And that's what I really appreciate with, with what you're doing too. It's like people need to
Yeah.
know that it's not all roses. It's not all everything's glam and everything's great and glossy. It's like, no, we're all got things coming up for us.
Yeah, we're all birthing. And if we are not, like, we are literally in the process of birthing ourselves, and the contractions, the pain. I think one thing to leave everyone with, if this helps, is what helps me in those dark moments is, like, the ego will go like, oh my God, like, what are we going to do? And starts freaking out. But my soul knows, oh, these are just contractions. Like, this pain, this anguish, this feeling of desperation or depletion or whatever the case may be, it's always teaching something, right? There's always a lesson in it. And what if a lot of the time it's really birthing ourselves. It's their contractions. So when I think of it in that way, I'm like, oh, nothing great comes without constriction, or, like, birthing through the contractions. Like, literally all good things come from, if you look at nature, some degree of discomfort or contrast, or, the butterfly birthing out of the cocoon, the impossible struggle out of that tiny little hole, or the pearl just abrasively that sands like boo, boo, endlessly in the oyster, or the, diamond that births from extraordinary heat and pressure.
Yes, definitely. I know. Yeah. It's that, as you said, that struggle, that contrast, that, and as you emerge, it's
Yeah.
just such beauty in that. So just
Yeah.
before we close off, is there a little, I guess, process, go-to technique, something that you can just like pull out at any time that just helps you, whether it's grounding or calming or,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so simple. And so the first thing is to pause. It's like something that's coming up is stop before you start. So in between anything that we do. So after this, when we end this, I will stop for a moment, take a breath before I move into the next thing, before I move into a session or whatever the next thing is going to be after that. So I pause, I take a breath, stare at the trees, I become present. The moon is outside the window. And I'm here before I move on to the next thing. Now, if something is challenging, I place my hand on my heart in the morning, before bed, anytime throughout the day. I ask myself two questions. What do I feel? What do I feel? Oh, I feel fear. I feel sad. I feel anger. I feel joy, whatever the feeling is. And the second question is, where do I feel it in my body? So what I'm doing is this is where the problem is, like the overthinking and the division and the separation that the mind loves to conjure up. If I come into my physical body, I come into presence. If I'm in presence, I'm home and I'm whole and I'm sane and I'm powerful.
Yes.
So what do I feel? Where do I feel it? Oh, okay. The fear, I feel it in my heart. My heart is fluttering. So now, instead of going to, how do I get rid of this? Which is what we're subconsciously doing much of the day, is like, oh my God, I don't want to feel this. Okay, I feel fine. Hey, everyone.
True.
Before doing that, before moving into the interview or the session or the speaking engagement or whatever it is, or confronting a client I was just working with earlier, said she just had a really courageous conversation, a confrontation with a friend that she's never had. Before anything confronting, it's first coming into the body. What do I feel? Where do I feel it? So now, instead of pushing the feeling away, I actually, if the fear is in the heart, I allow it to expand. So I say, fear, I see you. I'm here with you. And I just imagine it growing. And what happens is, as I'm dropping resistance and I'm letting it expand, and I'm just curious about it, I start to see maybe a color or whatever the case may be. For everyone, it's different. I might start to feel tingling. I might suddenly feel tears come up. So feeling the feelings is everything. And that's when I ask the final question, which is, what do you need, sweetheart? So to the fear or whatever the emotion is, what do you need? So usually there's an unmet need at the bottom of all of our struggle in life, of all of our unnecessary pain,
So
an
true.
unmet need that stems from childhood that we keep replicating. So it's like, what do you need? Oh, I just need you to be present with me. I just need a hug. I just need to sit under a tree for like 20 minutes and let the sun touch my bare skin.
Mm.
So whatever that is, the answer will be very clear. And then I make an agreement with myself. Okay, we have this interview. It's a little nerve-wracking. But yes, I will definitely, after the interview, I have a window, we'll sit under the tree. I love you so much. And taking a breath. This brings an inner stability that is unshakable. And even if the interview is horrible, or somebody leaves a negative comment, or the courageous conversation goes terribly wrong, it's okay. I'm safe because I've got my back.
Yes, like that foundation is strong. It's more resilient.
It's so strong. Those are the roots. It's like Marianne Williamson says, you got to go deep in here to go big out there. Right?
So
If we want to share our gift in the world, it all begins by going really deep within ourselves so that we can sustain the inevitable wins and pushback and self-doubt. It all comes, like, that's part of the path.
Definitely.
And that whenever self-doubt comes in, I don't see it as a red light. I see it as a green light saying go, because it means I'm onto something. Like, I'm onto the path of my soul. My ego is freaking the hell out. It's like, no, self-doubt, you're horrible. You're not good enough. You can't do this. Like, so I see that self-doubt as a green light saying go, because my soul is going, we can do this. We're going to grow. We're going to evolve. It's going to be a little scary. It's okay. Let's go.
Yes. No, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And it's something so simple, but yet people, avoid it. Because as you said, people just don't want to go there. They're just like, look, I don't have time. It's not convenient. I'm just going to push it down and go, go, go. And meanwhile, that's just breeding this kind of frustration and built up kind of trapped emotions, essentially. And then we repress them, and it just, doesn't end well.
It's creating a very anxious society, because anxiety is nothing more than the repression of emotion.
Exactly.
The things we don't want to feel. Anxiety, as my teacher Leonard Jacobson says, it's not an actual emotion. It's just the result of repressing emotions. So when we let them up, and I sit there and I cry, or I just like, oh, I'm scared, or whatever the case may be, or shit, like some anger comes up, it's like, oh, I know that's not me. I'm the one who's hugging and embracing that scared child. But if I don't do this work, then I'm identified as the scared child, and I'm walking around hurting people because I don't want to get hurt.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like really creating that altitude, that distance between who we are and what we feel, and then embracing what we feel and being the mother of those feelings rather than getting swirled into them.
Perfect. And that really is, the divine feminine energy, because as we know, it's like, and that's huge online at the moment, people are talking about the feminine energy, and it's like, this is what it's all about. It's that presence, the feeling, like being in it, and rather than, the doing and the logic and the analysis and the busyness, which we as society tend to, praise and value, unfortunately.
Yes. And you know what? It's equally important. The masculine, the divine masculine is so underrated. Like, we all have it within us. The unintegrated masculine is like sorely missing in a lot of this narrative and self-help and all that. True. But the masculine, can sit in presence and listen. And hold on to their highest, while the feminine can feel the feelings and like be all over the map and feel 40 emotions in like 2 minutes. And the masculine's just like unswayed by it. Like the sun is the masculine, always there, always present. And then the clouds, the moon's constantly changing, which is the feminine. And when we can embody both,
exactly,
boom, we're
that
free.
Marriage of the two, that union of the two. Beautiful. So thank you so much. We could just keep talking and talking, and I appreciate you've got things on and I've got things on, but I'm so grateful that you've been able to sit with me for this time together, and and I'll continue to watch your beautiful journey, and hopefully we do.
I just subscribed to your channel. I'm like,
thank you.
So
thank you for that.
No, it's just, you have so much wisdom. Everyone who is tuning into you and everyone who's finding you are so lucky, because I know your integrity and I know your wisdom and I know your heart. And so I'm just so grateful that we get this opportunity to share together and blast some love into this world. And
that makes me tear up. Yeah, thank you. I know. And thank you to you too. And I guess that's that highly sensitive person as well, the empath kind of coming out. But yeah, no, thank you so much. So lots of love, and we'll be in contact soon. Yeah.
Yeah, and so much love to everyone here. Thank you.
Yeah,
I just like, group hug.
Yeah, exactly. Group hug. I know. Much love. I know, exactly. Doesn't matter where we are in the world, I mean, we can sort of feel it. We can feel the energy. It doesn't matter where we are.
Yeah, we're linking up right now around the world. A new world is rising. It's a beautiful one, and not without the contractions, of this birthing that's taking place. So
yeah, exactly. So I think it's just for Oh, exactly. Yes. So, all right. Well, much love. It actually just froze there for a second, but I think we're okay. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a beautiful day, and thank you. And same with, if you guys haven't subscribed to Veronica, I encourage you to. Veronica Krestow. She's got some beautiful, heartfelt, really quite powerful messages and trainings and videos there. So, and guided meditations, things like that. So, excellent. All right. Well, much love. And I wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Lots of love. Bye. Bye.